Good afternoon, everybody. It's a great pleasure to be able to stand here in front of you all and talk about what we do in the industry. My name is Andrew Spooner. I looked it up and decided I'd actually worked in inkjet for 35 years. I saw my first printer in 1988. I work for a company, in fact, called Array Graphics. We are the European partner for Norwix, based out of the Netherlands, and have worked with Norwix for 20 plus years. They are at the moment terribly busy with Pack Expo, so it's like, oh, would you mind standing up here and talking a little bit about what we do with Norwix in our partnership? So here's Norwix. What I'd like to talk about is technology drivers, so enablers for the printing world. So a little bit about Norwix as a company. They used to be called Ink.Jet, but rebranded themselves to save confusion, because if you call yourself Inkjet and you sell inkjet, that confuses people. So a decision was made about 6 years ago, to rebrand the company as Norwix to avoid that confusion and really to reach out and move forward in the way we deal with our business. So we have thousands of installs, 90,000 printers worldwide across 50 countries. We've innovated. It's a successful company, and we work within families of products. Norwix, or Ink.Jet as they were originally, was one of the very first HP licensees. So we've worked through the HP product range, and really our history as a company is as an HP licensee and working through their technologies and moving with them as they've taken us forward. I think probably the important thing to say, Norwix as a company, we don't sell end user solutions as such. We're not a forward-facing end user company. We sell via indirect channel, so reseller distribution. A lot of our business goes into OEM, and a lot of that business to OEM can be down to component level. So we, unlike other inkjet companies where we say, okay, we sell direct and this is our solution, we try to sell a technology package for people. So a lot into OEM, where most would take a ready-to-go print solution, so the print engine with the heads as an integration, but not all the external component parts, maybe not with the controller. But we do move all the way down to component level. So we have worked with some major inkjet companies who you would know who do sell direct, who take our technology and build their own solution using our components. So we're big in the inkjet world, particularly with HP, but probably not so well known because we do it always via other players. We're well hidden inside machines. So this slide really is what I like to call the building blocks for a solution. So you have the print technology. Here we're not involved, but we choose technologies that we believe are going to help our OEMs, our resellers and distributors. What we provide is basically parts 2 and 3. We produce drivers, enablers, at the rawest element, parts to the puzzle. How do we build this building block solution based on the technology that's chosen? And how do we apply it to installations and applications? So really our direct involvement day to day is elements 2 and 3. So we develop solutions, drivers and enablers. We do sell complete solutions. So we have that experience on what do you actually do with this printer? How do you apply the printer? We look for partners. We believe strongly in working with manufacturers, with other people to try and make the solution. Because an inkjet printer on its own is not a solution. It's just a building block to that solution. So our partners, some of which are in the room, help us get there. So in terms of technologies that we've actually chosen to work with, 2.5 TECH, a thermal inkjet from HP is really where we began. Was a mailing product, very well known in mail industry, envelope printing. And now really the focus for the business is moving into TECH 4.0, so the latest commercial thermal inkjet product from HP, and a piezo offering with the Ricoh. This is a Gen 5 Ricoh head. Typical markets that we address, obviously, mail addressing graphics is where we began, from paper mail, envelope mailing, a lot in cards and tickets, Probably more, they're not in any particular order. Primary and secondary packaging is really a growing serious segment for us. We're very strong in pharmaceutical. We're probably one of the, if not the leading supplier of TIDGE 2.5 for pharmaceutical track and trace. We're in a lot of machines that do track and trace, but we've not seen because we're integrated. So we carry under a big brand like Antares Vision for track and trace. Medical UDI, food, lumber. Lumber always amuses me because when I first looked at HP, when I worked for a CIJ company, I thought, it's a toy. It's not serious technology. It's not robust enough. Yet we're running in big sawmills, and a lot of the sawmills in North America, Northern Scandinavia use HP 2.5 technology for product coding on wood. So more robust you can't really get because wood doesn't stop. If it hits a head, it just keeps going. So some of the applications was mentioned earlier by Stefan. One of the interesting focuses now is Sunrise. So GS1 Sunrise codes for us, because we don't do full digital, we do sort of personalized digital, let's say. The GS1 Sunrise code is really a focus for us because we can see that we're going to have to print these packages uniquely or in batch to allow people to track and trace products. And we try to choose technologies that we think are really going to help us achieve that. So let's look at some of those technologies we've worked with. For those people probably aware of some of them. I think really, for me, the important information is the print resolution. 600 dpi now is pretty much a base standard on inkjet in most segments, and print speed. So we're running at 150 meters a minute with the Ricoh head. Where we're a bit unique is we took a different direction on the ink delivery system. So in place of using a classic vacuum meniscus system, we went with a pressure-based pump solution. The big benefit is we can actually print in all directions, sideways, upside down. It's not a top-down only printing technology. And this is actually a patent from Norwix to allow us to run ahead using a pressure system. So what are we actually providing it on a base level OEM integration? The board, it's an all-in-one, everything is there. So what you see on that board is the print head, and the board itself is controlling all elements. So it's a raster imager processor. It has the network database, the network connectivity, the waveform drivers. It is a complete ink system, delivery system management. So pumps are on there, degassing is on there. So everything on the one board. We have heaters, capability of running cleaning stations, and the I/O interface for encoders and photocells. So with this one board, you really have the complete ecosystem you need to run that head. You don't have to go looking for a head for an ink system somewhere else. It's part of that board. And where we really see these applications, so I think for me the most interesting was actually printing on bottle tops. So we have some very interesting production plants in beer and water where they're printing unique codes on the top of every bottle at 60,000 bottles an hour. So serious speed, every code is different. So it's effectively a full track and trace capability on the top of a bottle, both PET and crown seals. But also we do UDI, mailing applications. It's a UV-based ink, so it's suited itself well into more difficult substrates where the curing with a UV lamp is really helping you. We still do mailing with it, mainly because of cost of ownership. So in the mailing sector, when you're using a litre of ink, it's by far the most cost-effective way of running a print system. Now, moving on to the TIDGE 4.0. For me, this is really where the future is lying. It's what you see in the cartridge, so the print head itself is actually a complete print system. So it's ink, it's an ink system, complete. It's the head itself with all the nozzles. This system has, I'm not sure if it actually says on the slide, 4,800 nozzles an inch. So that's a lot of nozzles. You don't need an external ink system, you just need a pressurized ink supply. So the whole print technology is inside that cartridge. And you'll notice the resolution, well, is wrong. It's 1200 DPI, not 120 DPI. So it's 1200 DPI running to over 1,000 feet a minute, so more than 366 meters per minute. So it's incredibly fast. All in one print system. What do we supply? So we're supplying the complete board integration, the adaptation to the cartridge. You see the cartridge and a bulk tank. So the difference with the old HP that people may have known is you have a cartridge and more or less that's it. You don't feed it with ink. Particularly, it was never very successful as a standalone, as an ink-fed system. With the 4.0, it's designed to take a bulk supply. You put pressurized ink into the head and everything is managed internally in the head after that. So again, we offer up to 4 heads off a single board, a gigabit interface, able to run a display for software application, raster image processing, 2 tanks, so you can run continuous operation, the I/O, and capability of linking separate more boards and more heads. Applications. And I think the important thing with this is really, or the amazing thing is 1200 DPI, but also real speed. So the middle photo is on a printing press, printing unique data onto newspapers on a newspaper line at this is 300 meters a minute, more or less. So it's I think about 35,000 newspapers an hour coming off a newspaper press, fully personalized. The top right is an e-commerce application, high speed on a box folder gluer. So with the last bazaar, we're talking about barcoding and how important black ink is for barcoding. This is actually on a box folder gluer for Amazon style e-commerce. So a big driver for us is printing unique barcodes for e-commerce business. And here's just multiple heads printing numbering back to some of our classic business that we did before. And the future really for us is moving to the bigger heads. So 108mm head is what HP use in their commercial presses. Is now being released and commercialized, again 1200 DPI. It actually runs half the speed, and I'll come back to that in my next slide. But we've got 6 picoliter drops. Again, the print head is the complete system. It is the ink system. It is the heaters. You need to supply it with pressurized ink, and you're good to go. On the drive card, again, very similar. We can drive 2 of these heads off our electronics. A gigabit network interface, control screen, raster image processing. It is a dual color head, so there are actually 2 channels in the head, so you can run 2 colors on a head. So with 4 heads or 2 heads, you can do full color CYMK, and will be available next year. Typical applications, it's a 108mm head. We get a lot of demand from mail labels. So you see on the far right, a typical postage label. So this is normally a 6x4 inch label. So a 4-inch head is perfectly suited. 1200 DPI gives you the resolution and the readability on the barcodes. But also back into the normal family, the UDI, case coding, and some spot color coming in with this head. Going right back to the beginning, so we do end user complete ready-to-market solutions. What we've also been doing recently is taking those solutions and branding them for people. So instead of selling our printer under our banner, we say, okay, you like the technology, you don't want to spend the effort to integrate it yourself. We will let you take our technology and we'll brand it for you and make it your product. So we're seeing quite a bit of interest in customers taking the branding option. So they take a printer, they brand it to their own color scheme. And we'll even lock the ink revenues. So we make sure the ink matches with that printer type. So you get the ink revenue as well as the printer hardware revenue. And that's the end of my presentation. Thanks a lot.